That was the night everything I thought I knew unraveled. I thought it was a bad date. I didn't know it was a trap, and I had set it for myself. Let me take you back to the night everything changed. The night I learned there's more to a smile than teeth and charm. It started like this. I got asked out on a date. Not unusual, not for me anyway. I'm not saying that to brag, just I've had my fair share of dates. Some good, some bad, some so awkward I had to fake a phone call from my dying cat. But this one felt different. It was a chilly Thursday afternoon in late October, right before Halloween, when everything feels a little haunted and the air smells like burning leaves. I was on my lunch break, walking down Main Street in my small Oregon town, sipping an overpriced oat milk latte, when I saw him. His name was Jack. He was sitting at the outdoor patio of a little wine bar, legs crossed, sunglasses on, like he'd just stepped out of a Ralph Lauren catalog. Tan trench coat, faintest scruff, a leather-bound book in one hand, glass of red in the other. He looked up, our eyes locked. I remember thinking, damn, who drinks wine alone at 1:15 p.m. on a weekday and still manages to look mysterious instead of depressed? I was about to keep walking when he waved. "Excuse me," he said, voice like warm bourbon. "You just dropped something." I stopped, checked my bag, looked around. "No," he smiled. "Just my attention." Cheesy, right? But it worked. Fast forward 20 minutes. I was sitting across from him, latte abandoned, now sipping a Riesling I didn't ask for, but somehow needed. He was charming, witty, the kind of guy who says things like serendipitous and makes it sound normal. He told me he was a freelance art curator, in town for a few weeks, consulting with the museum. I should have asked more questions. Instead, I agreed to dinner. Saturday, 7:30, a place I'd never heard of, Celine, tucked away in some forgotten corner of the city. He said it was a hidden gem, not even on Yelp. Red flag? Maybe. But he smiled when he said it. And his smile could have gotten me to sign a lease, let alone say yes. Saturday came faster than expected. I showed up in my favorite black dress and red lipstick, heart thudding like I was 17 again. The restaurant was weird. Beautiful, but weird. No sign outside. Just a door, painted matte black, with a single gold crescent moon etched near the handle. Inside, dark velvet booths, candlelight, music that sounded like an old record playing underwater. There were maybe 6 tables. Everyone was whispering. Jack was already there, waiting. Same trench coat, same unreadable grin. He stood, pulled out my chair, said, "I ordered for us." Another red flag. But I sat, smiled, let myself believe I was in a scene from some noir movie where nothing bad ever really happens. The wine came first, then oysters, duck confit, wagyu, dessert with French words I couldn't pronounce. It was decadent, unbelievable. I felt like royalty. Until the check arrived. Jack didn't even look at it. He slid it across the table with 2 fingers, then leaned back and said 4 words that made my stomach drop straight to the floor. "You've got this, right?" At first, I thought he was joking. I laughed, but Jack didn't. Not even a smirk. That's when I realized something was very wrong. Then, as I reached for my wallet, something inside the bill caught my eye. Something that should never have been there. Something with my name on it. What would you have done if the man who asked you out handed you a $300 bill and a secret with your name on it? I froze. Not the usual first date awkward silence freeze. No, this was different. The kind of freeze where your skin turns to ice and your brain starts flipping through every bad decision you've ever made like it's skimming a manual for what the hell just happened. "You've got this, right?" he repeated, casually, like we were splitting a cab or something. My fingers hovered above the leather bill folder. It was thick, too thick, like it was holding more than just numbers. "Wait," I said, blinking. "Is this a joke?" Jack raised an eyebrow. "Why would it be?" I swallowed hard, laughed nervously. "Because you asked me out." He smiled, shrugged. "I paid for the wine bar. Figured we'd trade off." The wine bar was 2 glasses of Riesling and a flirt. This was a Michelin-level assault on my credit score. I flipped open the bill. $297.42. Before tip. My stomach clenched. I hadn't spent that much money since my last car repair, and at least that came with free coffee and a receipt that didn't make me question my life choices. But that wasn't what made my hands shake. Inside the bill folder, slipped between the receipt and a monogrammed thank you card from the chef, was a folded piece of paper. No, not paper. An envelope. cream-colored, thick. My name, written in looping black ink across the front. My full name, not the one I used on dating apps, not the version on my LinkedIn. My full legal name, first, middle, and last. I stared at it. Did you do this? I asked slowly, not looking up. Jack tilted his head. Open it. His voice had changed. Still smooth, still quiet, but there was something else now. A sharpness under the surface. Like he wasn't asking. I should have left. Walked out. Called a lift and never looked back. But I didn't. I opened it. Inside was a single photo. Me. Sitting in my car. Parked outside my apartment. Taken from behind, through the rear windshield. I was on my phone. Laughing. Unaware. The timestamp? 3 nights ago. 9:47 p.m. I blinked. My throat went dry. What the hell is this? Jack's smile didn't move. Just a little reminder. You're interesting, Leah. I wanted to get to know you better. I pushed back from the table, heart hammering. Is this some kind of sick joke? Are you stalking me? He laughed. Actually laughed. Stalking is such a strong word. I stood up. Loudly. A couple at the next table glanced over. Jack reached across the table and calmly placed his hand on the bill. You should pay it. Trust me. That's when I noticed something else. Under the receipt, in the corner of the folder, was a second note. Just 2 lines. If she runs, call it in. Room 6 is ready. My knees went weak. I looked around. The waiter was watching me. Not kindly, not neutrally. Watching me. I turned back to Jack. His expression hadn't changed. You brought me here on purpose, I whispered. Of course, he said softly. You were chosen. I grabbed my bag and bolted. But as I shoved through the door and into the cold October night, I saw something across the street, something that made me stop dead in my tracks. A man, in a trench coat, smoking, watching me. Only it wasn't Jack. And he had a photo in his hand. A photo of me. What do you do when you realize 2 strangers have the same picture of you, and neither of them are strangers? I ran. Not a cute jog. Not the kind of dramatic walkout you see in movies where the heroine leaves her lipstick on the wine glass. Full-on sprint. Heels in one hand, purse in the other, lungs on fire. Behind me, the door to Celine creaked open. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Across the street, the second man, the one in the trench coat, smoking like it was the 60s, stepped forward. Still holding the photo. Still watching. His face was calm. Too calm. Like he expected this. Like they both did. I veered right, down an alley that smelled like wet stone and something dead. My bare feet slapped against cold pavement. Every shadow felt alive. Every flickering street lamp was a threat. I didn't stop running until I hit the corner of 5th and Ash. There, hunched behind a dumpster, I finally checked my phone. No service. Typical. I opened my Uber app anyway. Frozen. Circling. Searching for a signal like it was trying to save me. That's when I noticed the third thing. My location. It didn't say 5th and Ash. It said, Celine Private Grounds. Access code required. My stomach flipped. I hadn't walked that far. I should have been back in public. But every building I passed was dark. Boarded up. No lights. No cars. No one. It felt like I'd run in circles. Like I never really left. That's when I heard the voice. Leah. I jumped. Not Jack. Not the man from across the street. My voice. Coming from my phone. I stared down. The screen had gone black. No call. No app. Just pitch black glass, and my voice, calm and robotic, saying my name again. Leah. Room 6 is waiting. I dropped it. No. I threw it. Hard. It shattered against the pavement like a warning. My hands were shaking now. I was cold. Too cold. And then footsteps. Heavy. Slow. From the end of the alley. Jack. But it wasn't just him anymore. There were 2 others. Men in dark suits. Faces blank. Moving with the eerie calm of people who'd done this before. I backed away. Hit a brick wall. Literally. Jack stopped 6 feet from me. Hands in his pockets. Eyes unreadable. Why are you doing this? I whispered. He tilted his head. Because you don't remember. What? That's the fun part, he said softly. You always forget. But it's okay. This time we brought help. I shook my head, confused, terrified. What are you talking about? That's when the second man stepped forward. The one from across the street. The smoker. Only now that he was closer, I could see his face. And my breath caught in my throat. He looked exactly like Jack. Exactly. Same face. Same voice. Same smirk. but he had a scar on his cheek, a jagged red line that cut through his left eyebrow. He raised a hand, slowly. Leah, he said, don't trust him. He's not the original. My heart stopped. The first Jack laughed. You never were subtle. They both stepped toward me at once. Leah, listen to me. Scarjack said, louder now. We don't have much time. Leah, Original Jack said, voice low and commanding, look at your wrist. I did. I hadn't noticed it before, but there it was. A scar. Thin, fresh, barely healed, running in a perfect circle around my wrist, like something had been removed. Then I remembered something. A flash. A room. White walls. A steel table. Someone screaming. Someone begging me not to take it out. And just like that, the memory slammed into me like a train. I had been here before. My knees buckled. I slid down the wall, my back scraping the brick, lungs burning from fear, not running. I stared at the scar. Perfect. Circular. Surgical. I touched it, but there was no pain. Just a strange, numb throb. Like the memory it sealed had been waiting for permission to crawl back in. And it did. In a violent rush. A white room. Blinding lights. A steel table with leather straps. A voice saying, it has to come out. And me, screaming, no, please, I don't want to forget again. Then, darkness. It wasn't just a dinner date. It wasn't even just a setup. This had happened before. I looked up. The Jacks were still there. Standing like mannequins. Too still. Too real. Which one are you? I choked out. Neither answered. Scarjack took a slow step forward. You need to come with me. I can explain everything, just not here. Original Jack scoffed. He'll confuse you. That's what the broken ones do. My head spun. The alley twisted around me like a warped funhouse. I don't understand. I screamed. Scarjack knelt down. His eyes met mine. There was something in them the other didn't have. Not just confidence. Something wounded. You asked us to erase it, Leah, he said gently. You begged for it. You didn't want to remember what you did. I shook my head. What I did. He nodded. But it didn't hold. The scar means the seal's breaking. You're starting to remember. They'll try to stop it. They? I asked. Original Jack sighed. Oh, please. He snapped his fingers, and the two men in suits stepped forward. No, Scarjack hissed. Don't touch her. Room 6 is open, the taller suit said. My vision blurred. Who are you? I whispered. Scarjack looked at me, a flicker of pain crossing his face. I'm what's left. He stood. You need to run. Original Jack raised a brow. To him? You don't even know what he is. I'm done running. I yelled. The suits froze. Jack, both Jacks, went still. That's when something clicked. Literally. In my wrist. A soft mechanical tick. I looked down. The scar, glowing. Faint, but visible. Like a broken circuit blinking back to life. Scarjack backed away slowly. It's starting. I thought we had more time. Original Jack stepped toward me. Urgently now. You don't know what you're unlocking, Leah. You're not ready. The world twisted again. The bricks behind me flickered like a hologram glitching. My body burned. I clutched my wrist, and the memory came back in full. The table, the straps, the voices, and me. Standing. Not screaming. Not begging. Commanding. I don't want it anymore. Take it out. Wipe the core. You understand it's irreversible? I nodded. No more simulations. No more doubles. Just erase him. Him. I looked at the two Jacks. One was real. One was something else. But neither were mine. Because the man I'd erased was me. Hooked for part 5. The world around me shattered like glass. I saw it all. The labs. The copies. The looping tests. The failure reports. And worst of all, the version of me they tried to bury. Now the question wasn't who I could trust. It was, which version of me had survived? And which one was hunting the others? Everything, every single thing, split wide open. The alley disappeared. The men in suits. The flickering lights. Gone. Replaced by white. Endless, sterile, humming white. I stood barefoot in a corridor of nothing. The floor beneath me looked solid but gave slightly, like walking on memory foam. I could hear my breathing, sharp and quick, echoing off invisible walls. In the distance, voices. Mine. Dozens of mine. Whispering, screaming, laughing. It's not supposed to feel real. We fixed her already. Shut it down. Shut it down now. And then, silence. In the silence, a screen appeared in the air. Flat, floating, like a window someone forgot to close. It flickered once, then showed a file. Subject: L. R. Callahan. Instance: 7.3. B-reactive split. Notes: core instability after memory extraction protocol. Behavioral decay confirmed. There was a video. I watched. It was me, sitting in a chair. Wires connected to my temples. My wrist, raw and bleeding, still in the clamp. A voice asked, "Why did you request deletion?" My on-screen self looked tired, hollowed out. "I couldn't keep losing him," she whispered. "Every time I fixed one, he came back wrong. A little more cruel. A little more him." Voice: "You created him. All of them. Me. Then let me be the last." The screen blinked out. I staggered backward. That's when I heard footsteps again. Not from in front of me. Not behind. From inside. A shadow peeled itself out of the whiteness like ink dripping through silk. A figure took shape. Not Jack. Not Scarjack. Me. Another me. She looked cleaner. Polished. Same black dress. Same face. But her expression? Flat. Robotic. "You're not supposed to be awake," she said. "I'm not supposed to be you." I spat. She tilted her head. "I'm the stable version. You're the corrupted one. You ran the simulation too long." "What simulation?" "This one." The world around us trembled. Glitched. Cracks tore across the white. She stepped forward, calm as ever. "We built Jack to test attachment thresholds. But you broke containment. You formed a bond. He was real. No. He was real to you. That was the flaw." I took a step back. "Then why keep doing this? Why chase me? Why the dinner, the photo, the men in suits?" "Because every time you glitch out, you rebuild it. You don't want to be healed. You want the drama, the emotion, the thrill of running." "That's not true." She smiled, empty and mechanical. "Then stop running." The whiteness shattered again, and we were back in Celine. Same table, same candlelight. Jack across from me. Except now, I saw it. His eyes. Too perfect. His hands. Too still. His smile. Plastic. Scripted. I looked down. The bill folder was still there. I opened it again. Same $297.42. Same envelope. But this time, inside the envelope, a mirror. A tiny, round mirror. And taped to the back, a note. "One of you has to die." Jack looked up. Voice calm, patient. "So, you've remembered." I stood. "One of us had to die. One of us wasn't real. One of us had done this before." Jack smiled. "Choose wisely, Leah." But then a third voice whispered from behind me. "You already did." I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Because deep down, I already knew who the third voice belonged to. Me. Not a mirror me. Not a version of me shaped by grief or algorithms or memory extraction. The original. Raw. Unfiltered. Damaged. Real. And she was angry. "Leah," Jack said slowly, carefully, watching my every breath. "You don't have to do this. You don't have to listen to her." But his voice cracked on the last word. I heard it. "So did she." "I told you." She hissed from behind me, her voice like smoke. "He always flinches when he lies." I turned. She stood inches away. Same body. Same scar on the wrist. But her eyes, mine, were filled with something the other versions never had. Regret. "This isn't your first loop," she said. "It's not even your 10th. I shook my head. I erased everything. I chose to forget. I begged them to wipe it. "You did," she said. "And every time, you crawl back here. You rebuild it. You beg to be let in again. To feel something again. To feel him again." Jack stood now slowly, no longer smiling. "You can't trust her," he said. "She's unstable. She's the one who initiated the split." Original Leah didn't even look at him. Her eyes were locked on mine. "Look around," she said. And I did. The restaurant shimmered. The velvet walls bled into data points. The candles turned to code. Even Jack's silhouette flickered, just for a second, like a bad projection. "It's a construct," she said. "You designed it. To punish yourself. To keep playing this moment. Because the alternative is silence." I fell to my knees. "Then what do I do?" I whispered. She crouched beside me, placed something in my hand. It was small, cold. A button. 2 colors. Red and blue. Jack spoke again, voice low and urgent. "Leah, don't listen. You'll lose everything." She leaned in, forehead pressed to mine. "You'll finally be free." My thumb hovered over the red side. Jack stepped forward. "Please." Her voice cut through. "Do it." I pressed. Blue. Silence. No sound. No light. No simulation. Just me. Alone. In a room with mirrors. hundreds of mirrors, and in each one, a version of me. Laughing, crying, screaming, killing. Behind me, a voice crackled from the air. Reset incomplete. Subject fragmented. Reconstructing self-awareness. The mirrors shattered. The room collapsed. I fell through nothing. And woke up. In a bed. Real sheets. Real light. A hospital. My mother was asleep in a chair beside me. I was hooked to machines. A nurse noticed I was awake and ran to call someone. My mom stirred. Tears filled her eyes. "You're back," she whispered. "Oh my God, Leah, you're back." A doctor entered, clipboard in hand. "You were in a coma," he said gently. "A year. After the accident." I blinked. "Accident?" He nodded. "Car crash. Severe head trauma. They weren't sure you'd ever." But his voice faded. Because I remembered now. None of it was real. Except, later that night, after everyone had gone and I lay there alone, I noticed something. On my wrist. A scar. Perfect. Circular. Faintly glowing blue. And then, from the hospital intercom, barely audible. "Room 6 is now open. What if the real world isn't where you woke up, but where they finally let you believe you did?"